Celebrities with dark secrets that got exposed. Diddy's whole thing. The allegations against Diddy have raised concerns about the culture within the music industry, particularly regarding how powerful figures exploit their status. Diddy's connections to other high-profile individuals in the entertainment industry have brought further attention to the accusations, as many are now questioning the overall treatment of women in such circles. We can't even stop now, 'cause it's bad boy. Recent reports suggest that Diddy is under investigation by federal agents regarding various allegations, including some nefarious things. Although specific details have not been disclosed, the ongoing investigations have put a spotlight on his activities and associations. Several high-profile figures in the entertainment industry have expressed their opinions regarding Diddy's actions, either supporting the claims made against him or condemning the culture of silence surrounding such behavior.
Come out and spoken against Diddy, or?
No, I'm surprised at the number of people that still haven't.
This has contributed to a growing discourse about accountability in the industry. Following the allegations, there has been a significant backlash from fans and the public. Many are reassessing their support for Diddy, with some calling for boycotts of his music and business ventures. People in the industry are forced to thank Beyoncé. A recent theory about Beyoncé's influence in the music industry has gone viral on TikTok, claiming that she is feared by many artists. The theory suggests that top performers are forced to thank Beyoncé when receiving awards. The speculation intensified after the arrest of Diddy, a close friend of Beyoncé's husband, Jay-Z. Social media users have linked the passings of several celebrities, including Tupac, Aaliyah, and Michael Jackson, to Diddy and Jay-Z, suggesting that those who do not align with them face tragic consequences. One viral post stated, "If Aaliyah hadn't passed away, no one would know about Beyoncé today," sparking further debate. Users have also pointed out that major artists frequently mentioned Beyoncé during their acceptance speeches, citing examples like Adele in 2017 when she won Album of the Year at the Grammys and said, "Beyoncé deserved this award for Lemonade."
We all got to see another side to you that you don't always let us see, and we appreciate that.
Similarly, Lizzo in 2023 and Jay-Z in 2024 thanked Beyoncé during their Grammy speeches. Justin Bieber's time as a young star. As a young artist, Bieber faced immense pressures to maintain his popularity and produce hit records. This often led to a grueling schedule of performances, media appearances, and promotional activities, which took a toll on his overall well-being. Several people in Bieber's life, including managers and associates, have been accused of taking advantage of his youth and naivete. Some figures in the industry exploited his success for their own gain, often prioritizing profit over Bieber's well-being. The intense media scrutiny that Bieber faced as a teen star often overshadowed his personal struggles. He was frequently portrayed in a negative light, and his mistakes were heavily publicized. This not only affected his reputation, but also made him a target for those looking to profit from his misfortune. As he transitioned into adulthood, Bieber became associated with various high-profile celebrities and social circles. Some of these relationships were deemed toxic, leading him to engage in risky behaviors. Critics argue that some individuals around him were more interested in maintaining his party lifestyle than supporting him. Diddy's video with Cassie. The CCTV footage involving Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura has drawn significant attention and sparked discourse due to its nature. The footage reportedly shows Diddy engaging in strange behavior, that's the only way I can describe it on here, towards Cassie in a hotel. Although details about the exact nature of the footage have not been fully disclosed, sources indicate that it captures moments of confrontation. The release of this footage aligns with Cassie's allegations against Diddy, which she detailed in her 2022 lawsuit. She claims that Diddy subjected her to years of control throughout their relationship, including instances of what was seen in the footage. The existence of this CCTV footage has intensified scrutiny of Diddy's behavior, particularly regarding his treatment of women. In her lawsuit filed in November 2022, Cassie accused Diddy of a pattern of behavior, including what was seen, and control. The lawsuit brought significant media attention to the relationship, with Cassie alleging that Diddy used intimidation tactics against her. The lawsuit was eventually settled out of court. Kate Middleton's diagnosis. Kate Middleton recently shared that she had been diagnosed with cancer after undergoing abdominal surgery earlier in 2024.
However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present.
Following the successful surgery in January 2024, which required a stay in the hospital, doctors conducted further tests that revealed the presence of cancer. Although the specific type of cancer has not been disclosed, Kate mentioned in a video message that her medical team advised her to begin preventative chemotherapy, which she has recently started. This diagnosis came as a shock to Kate, who emphasized the importance of managing this situation privately, especially for the sake of her 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. She and Prince William took care to explain the situation to their children in an appropriate manner. Despite the challenges, William has been a great support to her during this time. Wendy Williams went crazy. When the Lifetime documentary crew began filming in August 2022, it set out to follow Williams' comeback as she prepared to launch a new podcast. The film quickly evolved into something entirely different, as the crew captured Williams, who served as an executive producer on the project, in the throes of her drinking habits and struggles with issues including Graves' disease, an autoimmune disorder that can cause bulging eyes, and lymphedema, a condition that causes swelling in her feet. A particularly gut-wrenching scene shows Williams, who turned 60 in July of 2025, asking her driver to take her past the former Wendy Williams show studio, forgetting that he had done so only moments earlier.
This doesn't look like anything familiar when I'm going to the Wendy Williams show.
I don't know what the hell is going on, her driver says in the documentary. I think she's losing memory. She doesn't know who I am sometimes. The documentary crew stopped filming Williams in April 2023. That month, she entered a facility to treat cognitive issues. Her manager and jeweler, Will Selby, says in the film. Her son reveals in the documentary that doctors have connected these issues to her drinking. Williams remains in the facility to this day, and her family says a court-appointed legal guardian is the only person who has unfettered access to her. Her family says they don't know where she is and cannot call her themselves, but she can call them. The people who love her cannot see her, says Wendy's sister and Alex's mom, Wanda. I think the big question is, how the hell did we get here?
Rihanna does not like Kylie Jenner at all, and a lot of it stems from Kylie copying Rihanna as well as trying to compete with her. It's widely known that Rihanna has expressed her dislike for the Kardashian-Jenner family in general, particularly targeting Kylie Jenner. Rihanna has accused Kylie of imitating her style, product ideas, as well as imitating her fame.
She is about to just put it all out there.
Yeah, I'm
not
about
give you my ideas, girl.
The options watching. To bounce some ideas on you.
Twitter users have often criticized Kylie for overshadowing not only Rihanna, but also celebrities like Beyonce, especially during significant moments such as the release of Beyonce's studio album, Lemonade. It's like Kylie always has to try to do something to trump other people versus celebrating their success. Now, the feud between Rihanna and the Kardashian family has been going on for quite some time. Again, it's not just with Kylie, but a lot of the instances have to do with Kylie. But Rihanna also had a little bit of beef with Kendall Jenner, who's Kylie Jenner's sister, and the intensity heightened in 2015 when Kendall Jenner seemingly replaced Rihanna's friend Jordan Dunn as a model in the Victoria's Secret fashion show.
2015, Rihanna even pulled out of her scheduled performance at the Victoria's Secret show after learning that VS replaced British model Jordan Dunn with Kendall.
So, being outraged by this, Rihanna refused to perform at the event and made it clear to everybody why she took such a stance. Now, Kylie Jenner, who is a self-proclaimed self-made entrepreneur of Kylie Cosmetics, has also faced accusations of stealing product ideas from Rihanna. Back in 2014, Rihanna launched her own company, Fenty Beauty, which introduced 40 concealer shades by 2017, eventually expanding to 50 shades. Only a few months later, Kylie Cosmetics, primarily focused on lip products, expanded its range to include 30 shades, raising eyebrows and drawing some comparisons to Rihanna's brand.
She's also accused of stealing some of Rihanna's ideas for her cosmetics company.
Also in 2014, Rihanna made a bold statement at the CFDA Fashion Awards by wearing the iconic crystal dress designed by Adam Selman.
Fashion has always been my defense mechanism.
This iconic sheer dress covered in Swarovski crystals that Rihanna wore to the CFDA Awards and that Kylie and her sister Chloe both ended up copying.
Now, the dress, adorned with over 230,000 Swarovski crystals, became legendary, and Rihanna, she rocked it, and she wore it without anything underneath it, so it was a very iconic look. However, fast forward to 2018, Rihanna's fans were quick to point out that Kylie had actually imitated the look. Kylie Jenner recreated the same look and shared it on her Instagram page. Critics argued that the awesomeness and just the iconicness of Rihanna's original dress was completely diminished in Kylie's version, as she chose to wear a bra underneath and she didn't really rock it as well as Rihanna did anyways. Also, Khloe Kardashian copied the look too to celebrate her sister Kourtney's 40th birthday in 2019. So yeah, you see, the feud extends to the rest of the family, not just with Kylie. But either way, it's not just in this case that Kylie has copied Rihanna's style. Fans have noticed that Kylie Jenner has copied several of Rihanna's looks over the years. Several sources have also highlighted the instances where Kylie Jenner's fashion choices were inspired by Rihanna. And it's also speculated that whenever Rihanna debuts a particular look, Kylie Jenner often follows suit by wearing a different variation of the outfit.
2019. To promote her Kylie Cosmetics summer collection, Kylie posted a pic in a $695 leopard print catsuit by Laquan Smith. She looked stunning in the mirror selfie. But there was only one problem. Fans noticed that Rihanna had worn the same outfit before Kylie did for her Interview magazine feature.
Now, it's no doubt that both Rihanna and Kylie Jenner have achieved remarkable success in building their beauty empires from scratch and attaining billionaire status. While Rihanna has maintained her billionaire status though, Kylie Jenner's designation as a billionaire was later revoked when it was revealed that Kylie Cosmetics was not earning as much as previously claimed. So it's believed that the ongoing tension between these two megastars may also stem in part from their issues relating to their financial worth. Arguments over whoever generates more money from their respective beauty companies can definitely contribute to their ongoing feud as well, for sure. On top of that though, dating the same person may have added another layer of complexity to their relationship dynamic, if you can even call it a relationship dynamic, because I don't think there's any relationship there at all between Kylie and Rihanna.
Well, the copying allegedly goes beyond fashion and beauty. Rihanna and Kylie apparently also dated the same guy. And we are talking about Travis Scott.
But Travis Scott, who had a secret relationship with Rihanna in 2015, 2 years prior to meeting Kylie Jenner, is said to have spent significant time in the studio with Rihanna while she was recording the song Be Better Have My Money. Kylie and Travis now, at the time of filming this video, have 2 children together. So it's like, he dated Rihanna, Kylie dates him, has children together. She competing here? Yes, you see where this is going, guys? Why people say and why Rihanna believes that Kylie Jenner is just a straight up copycat, and why she just can't really stand Kylie and the Kardashian family in general. Here are even more secrets that Britney Spears revealed in her memoir. When we take a look in her book, Britney Spears criticizes Justin Timberlake for another issue outside of the unplanned pregnancy issue that they had.
In Britney's book, The Woman in Me, she reveals she got pregnant.
She addressed her long-standing pop rival Christina Aguilera for her famous 2003 Rolling Stone cover that she did with Justin Timberlake.
Britney Spears used part of her The Woman in Me memoir to react to Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera's overwhelmingly positive press in the 2000s.
Justin and Christina collaborated on their joint Justified and Stripped tour back in 2003, just a year after his harsh breakup with Britney Spears.
The 40-year-old singer took to Instagram on Monday to share details about her breakup with Justin Timberlake.
And they appeared together on the Rolling Stone cover, with Justin giving Christina what Britney describes as sexy looks.
But what'd you think?
Had to expect it.
It was pretty sexy. That was kind of fun to watch.
It's always sexy.
You know, the whole thing was pretty seductive. And Britney Spears wrote this specifically. Even if they weren't trying to be cruel, it felt like they were just pouring salt in the wound. Why was it so easy for everyone to forget that I was a human being? Vulnerable enough that these headlines could leave a bruise.
I think I did it again. I made you believe.
Britney Spears also opened up about her strong disapproval of how the media was starting to depict her as an eternal virgin, especially in the early parts of her career. She reveals that this good girl image was something that was crafted by her managers and the media due to her large teenage fan base, but that really wasn't her at all. Contrary to this portrayal, Britney shares that she had been actually intimately active since the age of 14 years old, and she had been living with Justin Timberlake during their relationship. So, you know, stuff were going down. Britney then went on to reflect on the intense scrutiny that she faced from the media throughout her entire career. She goes on to mention receiving unsettling comments about her chest size, with rumors starting to swirl about her getting cosmetic surgery. And Britney also talked about feeling really uncomfortable at the increasing amount of older men that would leer at her during her shows. There were some other incidents that made Britney feel uncomfortable too outside of these. Specifically, she criticizes her 2003 interview with Diane Sawyer, where she was bombarded with tough questions about Justin Timberlake following their breakup.
You did something that caused him so much pain.
I was upset.
Britney feels that she shouldn't have been compelled at all to discuss personal matters on national TV, especially in front of a stranger who seemed relentless in her questioning, which made her burst into tears. Britney had even mentioned that she wasn't even prepped on what questions were going to be asked in the interview, so she was completely unprepared and just did not expect the interview to go that way. Regarding another interview experience, Britney criticizes Ryan Seacrest for his interview approach during her 2007 appearance on his live radio show. Instead of promoting her album, she was bombarded with questions about her children, Jaden and Preston, and that took her off guard. It was like, what? Why are you talking about my kids? I don't want to talk about them. That's private stuff. Speaking of her kids though, Britney Spears did talk about her struggles with perinatal depression after the birth of her first son. She openly admits that she was so distressed, she fell into depression, that she didn't allow her mom to hold him for 2 months after his birth. And here's an excerpt of what Britney wrote in her book about this. I got a little depressed once I was no longer keeping them safe inside my body. They seemed so vulnerable out in the world, jockeying paparazzi and tabloids. I began to suspect that I was a bit overprotective when I wouldn't let my mom hold Jaden for the first 2 months. Also, after her conservatorship began, Britney says that her life was meticulously controlled, almost like putting parental controls on someone's iPhone. And any resistance that she may have put up was just completely ignored. It was shut down, almost like she didn't exist. Whatever she wanted, yeah, nope, who cares what you want? She also made a note of a 2016 TV interview where she discussed the conservatorship, but this discussion was actually cut from the final broadcast. And there have been some speculations that suggest that this interview was with the UK's Jonathan Ross show. We're about to look at the biggest secrets exposed in the House of Kardashian docuseries.
The Kardashian women, they are superior to rich men now.
Kris Jenner, who's portrayed as both ambitious and controlling in the first episode of the House of Kardashian, is seen as the driving force behind her family's rise to fame. Her ambition reportedly grew during her marriage to Robert Kardashian Sr. And according to Robert's cousin, Joan Agajanian Quinn, Kris desired to be a mother but wasn't content with being a housewife. The shift towards fame and fortune came after her divorce from Robert and her relationship with Bruce Jenner, now known as Caitlyn Jenner.
I was totally impressed with her intelligence, her sense of style, the way she lived her life.
And post-divorce, Kris played a pivotal role in revitalizing Caitlyn's public speaking career, urging her to part ways with her manager and take charge of negotiations. Described as charming yet tough in business dealings, Kris skillfully secured lucrative deals for Caitlyn Jenner.
So I got a call from Caitlyn's friend Sophia.
And despite controlling their finances, Caitlyn appreciated the business dynamics of their relationship, where Kris's savvy complemented Caitlyn's name recognition.
Kris wanted to be more than just a housewife.
Again, at the time, she was known as Bruce Jenner, who was an Olympian. Their collaboration, of course, proved to be very successful, and it created a strong business team, as well as it helped to reinforce their romantic relationship. There have also been several reports about the awareness of Caitlyn Jenner's gender dysphoria within the Kardashian family, particularly with Kris Jenner, and these reports have varied over the years. Kris has asserted that she wasn't fully informed about Caitlyn's secret life, But Caitlyn actually contradicted this during the House of Kardashian series, revealing that Kris knew about her gender dysphoria before their marriage. And Caitlyn described a brief conversation about her situation, emphasizing that she had moved on from that phase. There were some sources close to Kris that countered Caitlyn Jenner's claims, stating that Kris learned about Caitlyn's decision to transition from executives and not Caitlyn directly. However, previous statements by Kris suggest knowledge of Caitlyn experimenting with gender-affirming medication. Then their daughter, Kendall Jenner, in contradiction to her mother's stance, asserted in 2016 that Kris was fully aware of Caitlyn's gender dysphoria by their third date. And Kendall also mentioned instances where the family had caught Caitlyn wearing women's clothing. Also, contrary to Kim Kardashian's previous assertion that her tape with her ex Ray J was leaked without consent, revelations in House of Kardashian challenged this narrative. David Weintraub, who is Ray J's manager and a former friend of the Kardashian family, he accused Kim and Ray J of intentionally releasing the tape to boost their careers. Weintraub claimed that Kim informed Kris, her mom, of their plan before its release, suggesting it could elevate the family and their business. Kim wanted Kris to handle negotiations to protect their interest, and the Girls Gone Wild founder, Joe Francis, who collaborated with Kim and Ray J on marketing the tape, echoed similar claims. Francis, he claimed that the tape wasn't just about recording it. Instead, it aimed to create controversy for publicity. He contested the idea that the tape was leaked, and he asserts that Kim and Ray J, as consenting people, released it deliberately. However, Francis did deny Kris's involvement in the initial planning of doing this. There's also some information about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's love story. It actually traces back to around 2012 when Kanye West openly expressed his affection for Kim in his song Cold. However, according to Kanye West's associate Malik Yusuf, their romantic connection began even earlier than that. Okay, despite Kanye West's initial interest sparked by Kim's past, Yusuf, he portrayed a more sentimental side, and he highlighted Kanye West's admiration for Kim as his dream girl and recalled a moment when they shared a kiss. Yusuf also claimed that Kim distanced herself from Kanye after his controversial remarks about President George Bush back in 2005, where Kanye West asserted that George Bush didn't care about black people following Hurricane Katrina. And according to Yusuf, Kim expressed her love for Kanye West but couldn't be with him at the time due to the potential repercussions on her reality show empire. So they temporarily went their separate ways from there, but ended up getting married several years later. And the last big secret that the House of Kardashian shared is about editor Jessica DeFino, who worked on the family's subscription-based apps from 2015 to 2019, actually expressed conflicting feelings about creating content for the Kardashian Jenner family. She realized that the standards that they promoted were unrealistic and unattainable, even for themselves. DeFino specifically pointed out Kylie's lack of transparency about her lips, noting that they are the result of injectable lip fillers. And this isn't the first time the Kardashian Jenners have faced accusations of promoting unrealistic beauty standards. And Kylie even went on to acknowledge her family's influence, and she recently emphasized on their show The Kardashians the need for a larger conversation about the beauty standards that they set, and she expressed a desire for more positive impact.
Cat Williams had enough of watching his fellow comedians blast off into stardom as he watched from the sidelines. In a recent episode of the Club Shay Shay podcast with Shannon Sharp, Cat Williams took deep shots at tons of his fellow Hollywood superstars. I'm talking deep.
No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person.
Most of whom have seen considerably more commercial success than Cat Williams ever has. We're gonna take a deep dive into all of the trash talk that Cat spewed on this podcast and some of the ridiculous claims that he made regarding some of Hollywood's biggest stars.
They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about.
Kat claims that in his first movie role, Friday After Next, he appealed to the cast and writers and got an intimate act of force removed from the script. In this interview, Kat Williams revealed that there was supposed to be a scene of intimate forcing filmed in a washroom, which Kat ultimately appealed to have removed, and it was.
You shouldn't even talk to them anymore.
Kat doubled down on his statement, claiming that they were trying to make a classic comedy, and any scene representing an unwilling intimate activity would never be funny, no matter what the scenario is or what the circumstances are. Kat also went on to suggest that Ricky Smiley, who played the villainous Santa Claus in Friday After Next, sacrificed his child for fame and lied about being up for the role of Money Mike before Kat was cast in that role.
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie.
Kat claimed, "I don't know why he would lose a child and come on the air and start lying. That's why people believe in rituals right there. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp." Kat seemed increasingly passionate, and he added on, "Why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man?"
Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
You wouldn't let an athlete that's been on performance enhancers talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. So, it's safe to say that Kat Williams admires the artistic performing abilities of Ricky Smiley, right? Because apparently, Ricky was never up in the running for Kat's role of Money Mike. And according to Ice Cube, who you all know as Ice Cube, who also starred in the movie and happened to be a writer and producer, there was never actually that explicit scene in the script. So what exactly is Kat Williams talking about? Ice Cube quoted in a self-filmed Twitter post, "I would never shoot that scene in a movie, especially Friday, where you actually see this happening on camera. That just ain't my style." Ice Cube added on saying that Ricky Smiley was up for the Money Mike role, but Kat did happen to be a much better fit. Kat then stated that he put in his contract for the film that Ricky Smiley would have to wear a dress if they ever appeared in the same movie again. Kat also managed to throw some shade at Tyler Perry in the process, where Kat Williams quoted, "He was so egregious. I put in my contract that I wouldn't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress." Kat said, "Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did, because it's in my contract." This man had a contract drafted up that quite literally forced another actor to wear a dress in his next on-screen production. Kat Williams added on saying, "That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their lives. They play good women, and I believe the best actor should be in the best role." Oof.
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life.
Ricky already responded to this claim on his morning show, in which he denied that there was ever any such contract. He also says that the director David E. Talbert personally asked him to portray the role in the film, which also happened to be produced by Ice Cube as well. Kat Williams moved on and declared that veteran rapper and actor Ludacris joined the Illuminati to secure his Fast and Furious deals. Yes, you heard me right. Kat Williams said the following: "We were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. Both of us were on an equal playing field, and one of those people turned out to be Ludacris, and the other one turned out to be Kat Williams." Kat added on saying that one of them would be forced to shave their sideburns, and the other one would be paid $200 million that would span across the filming of 10 movies throughout the Fast and Furious franchise. Well, it's now clear which one of the two ended up with which. I also have to say, Illuminati, eh? All this Illuminati talk sounds like it could have something to do with the Illuminati. And is the Illuminati really even a cult of extremely wealthy people who run the world? Or has it always just been an Italian light bulb company? Anyways, Ludacris responded to these claims by Kat Williams with a freestyle that he uploaded to social media. Kat Kat moved on from Ludacris and claimed that Kevin Hart is an industry plant.
Kat finally said enough is enough, exposing Kevin as the biggest plant in the industry.
This claim does not come out of the blue because these two comedians have been going back and forth for years. Kat directly claims that there is some shady business going on behind the scenes of Kevin Hart's spontaneous success in Hollywood, where he specifically said that in 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has had a memory of a sold-out Kevin Hart show. Kevin already had his deals when he got here. And have we ever heard of a comedian that came to LA and within his first year in LA had his own sitcom on network television and his own film called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before. Kat then questioned,
"What do you think a plant is?"
Maybe people don't understand the definition of these words. Well, to my best knowledge, the definition of a plant is a multicellular, typically photosynthetic organism belonging to the kingdom Plantae. Plants include a variety of organisms such as trees, flowers, shrubs, grasses, and mosses. But hey, that's just according to ChatGPT. After that, Kat claimed that Kevin was a gatekeeper who let Tiffany Haddish into the comedy game. Kat quoted on the show, "They tell you there's no gatekeepers, but we keep seeing the same person open the gate. Didn't Kevin let Tiffany in?" Tiffany responded to Kat's claims during a comedy performance where she calls Kat out on the lies that he was supposedly spewing up. But hey, Kat doesn't just stop there. No, 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 no. He's just getting started. Because Kat went in hard on Cedric the Entertainer, a comedian who is originally crowned the king of comedy. Kat claims that Cedric the Entertainer isn't funny, he can't dance, he can't sing, he doesn't write his own jokes, and he breaks mirrors every time he looks in one. Oh no, he didn't say that last part, I just made that up. But Kat added on, claiming that if Cedric the Entertainer was capable at doing anything entertaining, then by now he would have a special on Netflix or Tubi. But his specials are so bad, yes, he said this, they're so bad that Netflix refuses to host any of his specials. Perhaps these claims or this anger from Kat Williams comes from a place of inner jealousy towards Cedric, because Kat claims that Cedric stole one of Kat's best jokes for his Kings of Comedy tour back in the 1990s. Kat also claims that Cedric came backstage after one of Kat's performances to praise Kat for this certain joke and tell him how much he loved the joke, just to end up stealing the joke as a show closer for one of his own performances. But enough with this comedian, because Kat went on to trash Steve Harvey next. And you all know Steve Harvey, the man who's notoriously known for his above average abilities at correctly reading cue cards and not announcing the wrong winners for major fashion shows, right? I mean, the guy's also hosted Family Feud for what seems like a century now. Kat claims that Steve was stealing jokes from Mark Curry. He made claims that Steve Harvey fakes everything in his wardrobe, including his sense of style and even his afro on his own sitcom. But he didn't stop there, because Kat Williams added on, claiming that Steve Harvey could never be a movie star. He said, "There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year, and not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good and looks like Mr. Potato Head." No, he's not talking about Charlie Sheen. He's talking about Steve Harvey. And then Kat proceeded to claim that Steve Harvey stopped doing stand-up comedy because he lost a comedy battle to Kat Williams himself in front of an audience of 10,000 people. And then Kat moved on to Kanye West, claiming that because of all of Kanye's mental illnesses, he should actually be held accountable by the media in a different way. Kat claimed that society put Kanye West on a pedestal, letting him call himself Yeezus and letting him think that he was a god. Kat also went on to trash talk Kim Kardashian, calling her a very derogatory term and putting Kim on blast, claiming that Kanye married her knowing what Kim was, so he shouldn't have been surprised.
Does Will Smith like men? This is what everybody wants to know. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith, she talked about all of these rumors surrounding her and Will Smith and their marriage, and this was during an interview with Hoda Kotb.
Now, I'm just out of it because I'm really worried about.
Will and Jada have faced tons of rumors over the years, like them being attracted to people of the opposite gender, as well as them being swingers and also having an open marriage.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house.
But Jada, in response to all of this, all of the rumors, she completely shut down the rumors, and this is what she said. "I definitely can understand why there would be misunderstandings, but none of it's true." Okay, yeah, that's definitely not what most people were expecting to hear. Like, Jada has been open about a lot of things in her life recently, so, you know, I really don't see a reason for her to lie about this.
We just didn't want people to know the dynamic of what was happening between us.
But then online, when you take a look at various different articles, people are saying that, well, she's actually still covering up the secret because it would be too damaging to her and Will's reputations if she did admit it. So they're so convinced that, you know, they're attracted to people of the opposite gender, they have an open marriage, and they're swingers, all of that stuff. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments section.
As time went on, there were different stages in my marriage where Will and I decided we were not together. You know, we didn't tell the public.
Also in the interview though, Jada Pinkett Smith, she explained that she didn't witness the Oscar slap incident between Will Smith and Chris Rock because her view was blocked.
I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there.
Despite initial confusion, she did clarify that she didn't actually see the slap happen whatsoever.
What is going on right now? My wife's name.
She was so confused about it, and she went on to say this. And now he's mad because Chris is talking to me.
And I go, Chris, this is about some old shit. That's all I can think to say, right?
I couldn't really take in his apology. This, by the way, was in reference to Chris Rock apologizing to Jada.
Chris looks to me and he says, Jada, I meant no harm.
But in that, the whole time she actually thought it was a skit, so it was like, huh, what? Then Jada had said that it wasn't until Will Smith's publicist told her that Chris Rock wasn't going to press any charges that she realized that Will actually hit him. And this is what she said in her own words. I looked to Will and I said, you hit Chris? Like, you actually hit Chris? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. I guess, like, what are you gonna do at that point? It's already done. Yeah, I don't blame her. I thought that was a skit too. Either way, Jada did surprise everyone when she admitted that she and Will have been separated since the year 2016, and it's a divorce, but it's not a legal divorce.
I was actually thinking about divorcing, separating. I mean, there have been several of those.
The reason why they don't want a legal divorce is because they just don't want to. Because the question people have been asking is, yeah, why don't you just get a legal divorce? Like, you're separated, this is not really a marriage. Why? Just sign the papers and just go your separate ways. But this is what Jada had to say in response to this. We don't want to because we love our family and we love each other. You know, it's more of a life partnership. Now, 10 years from now, who knows? After hearing that though, I really think that they're just delaying the inevitable. They're actually gonna get legally divorced, but there's just so much to figure out right now and just too much drama to deal with. So I think they're just gonna delay it as long as possible, and then eventually when they're tired of playing this game or whatever this is, they're gonna just sign the papers and move on. Another thing to point out is that before this interview, Jada Pinkett Smith did confirm that she and her close friend Tupac Shakur, they never became romantically involved. However, she did reveal that they shared a kiss once, and it was just to see if there was any romantic connection between them at all. And this is how Jada describes this experience, and I quote, I remember being at my house on Price Avenue on the back porch, and you know, he was like, you know, we should try that. And I was like, Pac, kiss me, go ahead, just kiss me. And so he kissed me and we both pulled back like, what the hell? And that's when she realized that they had zero chemistry. So of course that made her decision to be with Will Smith much easier. Also, Will Smith has in the past admitted that back then he was a little bit intimidated by Tupac, you know, he was worried that Jada and Pac would end up being together because they were such close friends, but of course that never happened. And then the drama that is Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith love story has unfolded before our eyes over the past several decades.
They are arguably the most famous family in the world, and where there is fame and fortune, there is usually a fair share of scandals.
Scandals on scandals on scandals. What more could we expect from America's most favorite reality TV family?
I want to talk about them. Well, they've ruined the world. Oh my God. Anyway, here we go.
Here's a countdown of the 10 most scandalous secrets that the Kardashian family has tried to keep hidden from you, the public.
Be nice. Steve, you're just doing it. No one wants you in the shoots. Okay, no.
Firstly, this scandal is crazy. Kim Kardashian was investigated by the FBI after getting $250,000 delivered in a trash bag.
The FBI grilled Kim Kardashian as part of one of the biggest trials Hollywood has ever seen.
See, according to a March 2023 Bloomberg Businessweek report, Kim Kardashian was questioned by the feds as part of an investigation into a Malaysian man named Zhao Lo from Malaysia, obviously. You know that man? Zhao Lo, who was involved in a massive embezzlement scandal? Well, in 2019, Kim told the FBI that she played Baccarat in a Las Vegas casino with Lo and some other secret scandalous people. And guess what? Kim won big! Obviously, $250,000 big. And when Kim went to cash out, the casino actually handed her $250,000 in a trash bag full of $100 bills.
Kim Kardashian was once given $250,000 cash in a trash bag after gambling with J.H.O. Lo, according to FBI documents.
According to the FBI, Kim put the trash bag full of cash into her carry-on bag and boarded a Southwest Airlines flight right back to LA. Imagine being the security person at that airport, seeing $2,500 $100 bills going through that x-ray. Yeah, in a trash bag. So some eyebrows were raised after that Vegas trip, to say the least. The next scandal is one for the ages. Kris Jenner allegedly mistreated all of her staff on her now canceled talk show.
Radar Online reported that the talk show's 6-week test run will not move forward for a full season pickup.
In 2013, the Kardashian mama herself got a shot at her own major network talk show. The show was called Kris, and it aired on Fox. But the reason you haven't heard of it is because it lasted just about 6 weeks. See, the show had a hard time gaining viewers, and Fox was like, you're done, Kris. Later on, a big shot Fox employee would comment on the canceling of her show, claiming that Jenner's performance was just pretty uninteresting. But what not many people know is that behind the scenes, Kris Jenner was a nightmare to work with. An anonymous source that worked on the behind the scenes crew claimed that working with Kris was borderline unbearable. She would show up on set hungover and demand her beauty team to fix her up and make her look stunning. Wow. Imagine having the luxury of a beauty team to fix you up when you wake up hungover on a Sunday morning? I wish. Instead, I have a bathroom mirror that reminds me of my regrets from the prior night. Anyways, Kris would later take on to Twitter to claim that all of the rumors flying around her show were false. The next scandal that she and the rest of the family had to deal with was Kendall Jenner allegedly hooked up with Justin Bieber, who later married her best friend. God, that's right, Kendall Jenner usually keeps her romantic life far away from keeping up. But when you slay as hard as Kendall, not everything stays private. In fact, Kendall's longtime bestie Hailey Bieber occasionally drops by and makes an appearance on the show. And while their close friendship is well known, one thing that's not talked about on camera is the gossip that Kendall and Justin Bieber may have had a fling between 2014 and 2015. Juicy. Justin seemed to actually confirm those rumors, saying that him and Kendall briefly dated in 2015, but stated it was never serious. During a YouTube video that Kendall and Hailey filmed at some point recently, they were doing a Q&A where they were actually asked if they had ever kissed the same person, and a little laugh attack ensued.
You know the answer to this! Yes!
The next piece of juicy, scandalous gossip was the time when Kris Jenner allegedly paid off an ex-boyfriend who claimed that she cheated on Caitlyn Jenner. In her 2013 memoir, Kris Jenner and All Things Kardashian, Kris admitted to having an affair while she was married to her first husband, Robert. However, it's been suggested that Kris Jenner didn't share the full story of her infidelity and actually paid off her ex-husband to keep him from talking. The man she had the affair with was later identified as Todd Waterman. Todd himself claimed that the affair continued well into Jenner's relationship with her second husband, Bruce. Waterman even appeared on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians as a way to legally prevent him from talking about the affair. It was reported that Waterman was paid somewhere between $15,000 to $20,000 for his brief appearance on the show. Well, Mr. Waterman, that seems a little shady now, doesn't it? And by the way, Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, same person, as we know. The Kardashians have also now been accused of using sweatshops to create their products. In 2011, all the Kardashians were involved in a sweatshop investigation, where some Kardashian branded products were accused of being made in foreign factories with just horrendous work conditions. The brands under scrutiny included the K-Dash by Kardashian label, the Kris Jenner collection, and Shoe Dazzle. which Kim endorses. The family rep at the time claimed the Kardashians take this situation very seriously and have since been assured by all of their manufacturers that the factories are policed regularly. They added that if there is any evidence of an illegal operation, then they will stop immediately working with that manufacturer. The next piece of scandal comes from Kylie Jenner lying about getting lip fillers. Before Kylie founded her billion-dollar enterprise, Kylie Cosmetics, through the sales of her famous lip kits, she was caught trying to downplay her cosmetic procedures. In 2015, fans noticed Kylie's lips slowly enlarging over the course of a year. Kylie spent months repeatedly denying and evading questions about her lips before eventually admitting to the procedure on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So girl, if you're filling those lips, at least let us know where, because I could use a little bump. Oh, Kylie Cosmetics, you say? Okay, girl, I'll keep that in mind. But you better not be lying to me. The next piece of scandal comes from Kris Humphries, Kim Kardashian's once husband, claiming that Keeping Up with the Kardashians is in fact staged. See, we all know that reality TV is a little too good to be true sometimes. And after their 72-day marriage fell apart, former NBA player Kris Humphries hasn't held back his dislike for his ex-wife's family and the reality show alike. Even though he appeared on the show, sources close to Humphries say he now insists that the reality show is completely fake. A source close to Kris claims that Kris says that Kim's reality shows are a total sham. He doesn't think there's anything real about the shows at all. And apparently, not to break your hearts, but that famous scene where Kim loses her earrings in the ocean, yeah, fake. Kris claims that Kim was crying hysterically, but then miraculously one of her younger sisters found the earring in the ocean where the group had just been swimming hours ago. See, you try finding a lost earring in the ocean. My question is, I wonder how many takes it took for them to film that segment. Okay, Kylie, for this take, you found the earring. Let's see if it looks better on camera. How about that? The next scandal comes from Kim Kardashian being accused of wage theft by staff who work in her home.
Kim's staff, chefs, and nannies have some strict rules to follow while working in the Kardashian West home.
In May 2021, Kim K was facing a lawsuit from seven workers who accused her of wage theft and retaliation. The workers claimed that they weren't properly compensated for their working hours, they didn't receive overtime pay, they were denied required breaks, and they didn't receive any pay-related documents while working at her Santa Monica home. Sounds pretty terrible. Kim tried to shift the blame, immediately stating that the responsibility lies with the company she hired to manage these workers. And her spokesperson added on saying these workers were hired and paid through a third-party vendor, and Kim is not party to the agreement that made between the vendor and the workers and blah 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 blah. Obviously passing on the blame. The case is actually ongoing, but the family has chosen not to address the scandal publicly. The next piece of scandal comes from the time that Amber Rose, Kanye West's once lover, called Kim Kardashian a homewrecker who actually pursued Kanye West while they were both dating other people. Before Kim and Kanye got together in 2012, they were both in serious relationships with other people. Kanye was dating model Amber Rose until 2010, while Kim was dating NFL star Reggie Bush. Amber Rose claimed that Kim had been secretly in contact with Kanye while she was still with Reggie, sending him photos. Photos of what? We don't know. In 2012, Amber Rose was quoted saying, "Kim is the homewrecker. I'm not the homewrecker. I don't date men in relationships." She added on saying, "I just feel like Kim and her family manipulate the media and want people to believe what they want them to believe." You tell them, Amber. The next scandal is a big one. And it's the time that Khloe Kardashian had private investigators uncover Lamar Odom's cheating while hiding it from her show. See, in 2013, numerous stories started to circulate about Lamar Odom cheating on his then wife Khloe Kardashian. This terribly disappointed fans who had seen the couple's seemingly happy relationship on TV. As we know though, TV remains TV. Because later on, Odom admitted to infidelity early in his marriage to Khloe. Allegedly, Khloe actually knew about the infidelity a year before it became public and hired a private investigator to track her husband. Could you imagine? Despite presenting a happy face on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, as well as their own show, Khloe and Lamar, Khloe was secretly mistrustful of her then husband Odom. A source claimed that Khloe had gotten access to copies of text messages between Lamar and other women. Very interesting. And here's the thing. If there's one lesson that we learned today, it's that if you ever lose jewelry in the ocean, just call Kylie Jenner. she's got your back.
Comments about P. Diddy, the allegations?
New details about the role that Jennifer Lopez played in P. Diddy's freak-off parties has been revealed, and people are convinced more than ever that J-Lo is hiding something. Diddy and his freak-off parties and news about it at this point has completely taken over the media, and all the celebrities that are involved or connected with Diddy in some way are completely avoiding this topic altogether because they do not want to be associated with Diddy and his parties.
Can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them.
And J-Lo is a name that just keeps on coming up because of her connection with Diddy. If you didn't know, back in the day, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, J-Lo and Diddy, they were romantically involved. So they dated for a little bit. And back then they were seen as a celebrity power couple. But now, decades later, it turns out that their time together overlaps the period of when Diddy was hosting these freak-off parties. Naturally, people are wondering if J-Lo was aware of what was going on at these events and also if she had any involvement with them. People are wondering this because there was a former employee of J-Lo that's now sharing all this detail about how J-Lo is completely innocent and she lived a completely different life than P. Diddy, known as Puff Daddy back then, and that she had nothing to do with the parties at all. And, you know, J-Lo has been in the media for a long time. Some people love her, some people do not like her. She's faced a ton of criticism for various reasons. People find her to be a little bit mean and rude. But, you know, there's a big difference between just being demanding and a little bit rude at times. I think we all are demanding and rude in some cases in our daily lives. So that's not too strange for J-Lo. I think the thing is, people are just thinking that how could this woman be involved with Diddy and not know what he was up to? Because yeah, you can be rude, you can be mean, but you know, this is a whole new level of allegations. And people think that, yeah, she's not just the J-Lo that we see in the media. She's not just, you know, the woman that jumps from relationship to relationship. She's also just as evil and guilty as Diddy. Now, I don't necessarily believe that personally, but this former employee of J-Lo, Taya D'Souza, who worked with her on her Made in Manhattan movie, spoke out to defend J-Lo. And a lot of J-Lo's critics are just thinking that, okay, well, why is she defending J-Lo? Like, couldn't J-Lo defend herself? Like, what's going on here? But on the flip side, though, she doesn't have anything to gain by defending J-Lo. She doesn't work for J-Lo anymore, and she's not getting paid by J-Lo. There's no apparent benefit for defending J-Lo. So this is why I tend to lean towards the belief that she doesn't have any reason to lie about J-Lo's innocence. She says that she knew J-Lo pretty well during the time that she dated Diddy, and now she's coming forward to just set the record straight because she knows a lot of people are making speculations and claims and spreading a lot of theories about J-Lo. She's adamant that anyone who knew Jennifer Lopez at the time also would make it clear that she was not involved in any of Diddy's mess. And I mean, when you take a look at the circumstances like I was talking about, this seems pretty sincere. Like, for her to come out and say this, it seems like a sincere thing. Like, what does she have to gain from doing this? But you know, just because Taya D'Souza says these things doesn't necessarily make them 100% true. So J-Lo isn't in the clear yet. I think there's still too much questions and not enough evidence that have been brought forth to show that J-Lo is innocent for people to just kind of back off and be like, okay, yeah, J-Lo 100% wasn't involved in any of Diddy's mess. According to Taya D'Souza, J-Lo is somebody who barely ever drinks. She's not a party person at all. And she isn't the type of celebrity that's looking to just have a good time in that way. Instead, Taya describes J-Lo as a workaholic, and she says that she's a woman that's focused on uplifting others and empowering other women. And she said that she was just somebody who was charmed by Diddy for a brief moment in time, but ultimately she's 100% dedicated to her career. Taya also says that she doesn't deserve to be connected to Diddy in any way. And, you know, she does bring up a good point. People get charmed by their partners all the time without knowing everything about them. And in this case, maybe J-Lo saw that Diddy, you know, he's a charismatic guy, he's famous, he's rich, he's influential, very successful. Who wouldn't want to date Diddy back in the day, right? If that's all you knew about him. So, of course, she saw it as an opportunity to get to know him, date him for a little bit, and she wasn't aware of the full degree of his dark side. That's one possibility. And I always got to try to play devil's advocate here because people are still a little bit skeptical, pointing out that J-Lo was often seen partying with Diddy during their time together. But apparently she's the kind of person who works too much and too passionately to get distracted by all of the partying. Yeah, that's what they're saying about J-Lo, even though she's been seen partying. Not that she didn't party or anything like that. And there was a difference between P. Diddy's parties and the freak-off parties. The freak-off parties happened after the regular parties. So there is a possibility that J-Lo knew what was going on to some degree, but there's also the possibility that she just had no clue. So this ex-employee statements, it does give us a little bit of a different perspective on the whole thing. At least now we hear somebody that's speaking on behalf of J-Lo about this. But it's still a little bit surprising to me anyways that J-Lo herself hasn't come out and said anything at all to clear her own name. She's just been silent and she refuses to talk about anything to do with Diddy. So she's a big name for sure, and it's easy to lump celebrities like J-Lo in with Diddy, especially if you were somebody that is really, really close to Diddy or was close to Diddy in some way. And if we were to go by what Taya D'Souza was saying about J-Lo, we see that J-Lo didn't live a lifestyle like the lifestyle that Diddy lived. But the theories about J-Lo are going to continue to spread. This is my prediction here, because she is so silent, and there's also a lack of concrete evidence that prove that she's in fact innocent. So, of course, what do you expect people to think? As more information does come out about the whole Diddy drama, we'll hopefully get some clear answers on where J-Lo actually stands in all of this. And more insiders are coming out as well, making claims, and some of them are remaining anonymous. So I'm not really quick to believe every single thing that's being said by these insiders, especially if they're remaining anonymous. I'm sure they have their own reasons for remaining anonymous, but it's just a little bit hard to believe every single thing that they say. Although I definitely, in this case, would give J-Lo the benefit of the doubt. But I'm really curious to know your thoughts about this. Do you think that J-Lo 100% knew exactly what Diddy was doing? Do you think that she was involved? Or do you think that she may have had an idea of what was going on but never knew the full scope? Or do you believe that she was totally innocent? I really want to know what you think. Maybe ending the relationship with Diddy was the smartest thing that she's ever done in her life.
Want a piece of me? You want a piece?
Definitely want a piece of Britney Spears, and we're gonna get it.
Okay guys, so my book is coming out very, very soon. I worked my ass off for this book. I had a lot of therapy to get this book done, so you guys better like it.
Here are some of the biggest secrets that Britney Spears exposed in her memoir. Britney Spears opened up about her past relationship with Justin Timberlake and the unexpected pregnancy that they faced in their relationship.
A bombshell from Britney Spears, who reveals that she had an abortion during her relationship with her ex, Justin Timberlake.
During their time together, Britney got pregnant, which came as a surprise, but it wasn't considered a tragic event for her. She expressed her deep love for Justin and her anticipation of having a future family with him. However, Justin Timberlake, on the other hand, was not enthusiastic about the pregnancy at all and said that they were way too young and unprepared to be parents.
Brit says Justin definitely wasn't happy about the pregnancy. He said we weren't ready to have a baby, that we were way too young.
So respecting Justin Justin's wishes, she underwent the procedure to not have the baby.
I had a lot of therapy.
And then on top of that, Britney Spears revealed that during her relationship with Justin Timberlake, he actually cheated on her with another celebrity, despite Justin saying that it was actually Britney Spears that cheated on him. By the way, this is according to a report from TMZ.
She got pregnant with Justin Timberlake's baby. They decided not to have the baby. She had an abortion.
However, Britney Spears does refrain from revealing the identity of the other women in her book just to avoid any type of embarrassment. Also, in February of 2008, Britney Spears was placed under a conservatorship with her father, Jamie Spears, as one of the conservators.
Mr. Spears loves his daughter Britney unconditionally. For 13 years, he has tried to do what is in her best interests.
And in her memoir, Britney revealed the emotional torment that she endured from her father, especially until the conservatorship ended in November of 2021.
I'm so pleased and proud to say Jamie Spears is no longer a conservator.
She detailed how Jamie constantly criticized her body, causing deep emotional pain, and the hurt was so intense because of the criticism. It came from her own father, so that made it worse, and he repeatedly called her fat as well as pressured her to change her appearance.
Britney Spears has been faced with a decade-long nightmare, a Kafkaesque nightmare, orchestrated by her father.
And this ongoing criticism completely shattered her self-image, and it created a soul-crushing experience for her. But despite her numerous achievements and accomplishments, her father's negative words left a lasting impact on her self-worth. Britney Spears then went on to reveal that her decision to shave her head in 2007 was a direct response to the relentless judgment that she faced about her body throughout her life.
Britney Spears reveals why she shaved her head during a turbulent time in her life.
And having been under all of that constant pressure and public scrutiny, she felt pushed to her limits. And then Britney went on to share this.
I'd been eyeballed so much growing up. I'd been looked up and down, had people telling me what they thought of my body since I was a teenager.
Shaving my head and acting out were my ways of pushing back. However, this act of defiance marked a turning point for her, and once the conservatorship took effect, Britney's independence was severely restricted. She no longer had control over her appearance or her daily routine. Growing her hair out, as well as adhering to a specific body shape, following a strict bedtime, as well as taking prescribed medications became a part of her new reality. That's just what she had to do.
And I haven't been taking my medication.
She had to follow the rules, even something as small as you gotta grow your hair out. And one of the saddest statements that she made in her memoir is the following, and take a listen because you can hear the emotion and hurt in her words. This is what Britney said. I became a robot, but not just a robot, a sort of child robot. I had been so infantilized that I was losing pieces of what made me feel like myself. The conservatorship stripped me of my womanhood, made me into a child. I became more of an entity than a person on stage. I had always felt music in my bones and my blood. They stole that from me. Despite these challenges and restrictions though, Britney did manage to achieve remarkable milestones under her conservatorship.
Britney Spears.
Like she released 4 albums, she did 3 world tours, as well as headlined a Las Vegas residency. Britney also opened up about the time filming her 2002 movie called Crossroads. And Britney Spears faced a new challenge at that time. It wasn't because of anybody that was involved in the production or anything like that, but rather it was the impact that acting had on her mental state.
Are you serious?
Britney took on method acting, and that's a type of method where actors fully immerse themselves in their roles. And she had some surprising things to say about her acting experience. This is what she said. I didn't know how to break out of my character. I really became this other person. Some people do method acting, but they're usually aware of the fact that they're doing it. But I didn't have any separation at all. I ended up walking differently, carrying myself differently, talking differently. I was someone else for months while I filmed Crossroads.
You and Taryn were the actors. Britney was new to the party. Did you guys have to take her under your wing?
Britney was a natural from the beginning.
And then after Crossroads, Britney Spears was considered for the leading role in the film The Notebook, but she wasn't interested, and this is what she had to say about that. The Notebook casting came down to me and Rachel McAdams, and even though it would have been fun to reconnect with Ryan Gosling after our time on the Mickey Mouse Club, I'm glad I didn't do it. If I had, instead of working on my album In the Zone, I'd have been acting like a 1940s Harris day and night.